Graphic displays support both buttons and switches. Buttons are used to open or display objects from the tree. Both buttons and switches can use either icons or images along with their captions. In this part, we'll take a look at the icon versions. Clicking a button will display an object from the tree just as if it had been clicked in the tree. Most objects in the tree can be used with a button, but a few objects have no special viewer. With this button, I will attach an analog object to the button, and it will display the information dialog as if it had been clicked in the tree. Buttons are mainly used to open other graphic displays, schedules, or trend logs. Switches, on the other hand, are used to turn binary objects on and off. They can be used with either binary output or binary value objects. Notice that the switch stays in the down position when the object is on or active, and the icon changes to a brighter color. Other than this fundamental difference between the button and the switch, they are almost identical in every other way. The settings are almost all the same and are configured the same way. There are several shape settings. The overall color of the switch, the color of the icon, as well as the setting to add a gradient for the icon or use a flat color. And several settings are available to fine-tune the size and location of the icon. The Caption tab offers the same basic settings for the caption. Most of the @ codes can be used in gadget captions, but see the help file for a few differences. There are font size and color settings, as well as position fine-tuning settings. As you will see, the settings for the button are identical to the switch settings. I'm going to set them up with the same basic settings so we can see how closely they mirror one another. I'll set both to use the default button color, as well as the default caption color. This way, they will not be out of place if the user picks a different theme at the login screen. Now, to make sure their sizes match and align their tops with each other. Since there are several shapes to choose from, you may opt to have buttons and switches look somewhat different to distinguish them by their function. There is one setting the switch has that the button does not have. It's on the Options tab and is used to set the backnet priority that the property is written with when the user clicks the button. Leaving this set to Default will write the property with no priority specified, which will cause the device to use whatever priority it uses as its default. The ButtonImage and SwitchImage gadgets are very similar to the icon versions, so we will only go over the differences here. The main difference is that they use user-supplied images in place of icons, and the switch can also use an optional on image, so it can display a different image when on and off. As you can see, the settings are mostly the same, with just an image selector instead of an icon and color selectors. I have scaled down a screenshot of a graphic display to use as a test image. The image needs to be a bit larger. And I'll change the caption to charts to match the name of the graphic display. I could also use an @O here, and it would use the object name of the graphic display. I'll also go back to the default colors. Now we have a button to bring up the charts graphic display that actually looks like the graphic display. I'll also make a switch that matches the settings of the button. Notice the On Image tab. If a second image is supplied here, then it will be used when the object is on or active, and the image on the Switch tab will be used when it is off. For now, we'll just keep it to a single image. Also notice the Dim When Off setting. This will darken the image when the object is off and brighten it when on. This is a noticeable difference and will usually suffice instead of using dual images. The rest of the settings are for fine-tuning the size and position. I'll just resize the two gadgets. Notice the image on the switch growing brighter when it is turned on. And the Charts button gives a nice visual reminder of what the user will get when they click it. I wanted to take a few moments to go over the icon position and size, because it can be a bit confusing at first. This applies to both the icon and image version of the buttons and switches, as well as a few other gadgets. The icon size is currently set to 25%, but what this means changes depending on the icon's position. As you can see, the icon is taking up about 25% of the button's width, and the caption is taking up the other 75%, and is left justified within that 75%. The difference comes in when the position is changed. When the position is top or bottom, the size is now a percentage of the height of the button instead of the width. And the caption area is the other 75% of the height and is still left justified within that area. So you will usually want the caption to be centered when set to top or bottom. And the icon size will need to be increased. And probably the size of the button as well. When the icon position is center, the size setting will be a percentage of the width or the height, whichever is smaller. This is to ensure it maintains its aspect ratio. The best thing to do is pick a position, then fine-tune the size and location as needed. There is one more switch gadget that doesn't have a button version. It is the SwitchLED. It is almost the same as the icon version, but it uses an LED to show the status of the object instead of an icon. Other than that, it is functionally identical to the icon version. The shape of the LED can be either round or rectangle, and it can be any color desired. As with the other switches and buttons, the indicator can be moved to any side of the gadget. The caption is identical, as well as the other settings tabs. Let's look at another style of LED. This time we'll use a rectangle LED. I'll go ahead and resize and align them with each other. And change the color of the rectangle to red.